Alright, so pretty much all the top five leagues are somewhere around halfway through their season. A lot of Prem teams have played like 20 games, so oops, a little late there. The Bundesliga teams have only played 15 or 16 games though, so we're early there. Basically, everyone's around the halfway point. That means we have a big enough sample size for most of the 2023 summer signings to tell if your club wasted their bread or not. We're going to go through every notable summer signing and give them a grade from A to F, like we're back in high school. That's really it for the intro, I guess. Yeah, I got nothing else. Let's just get straight into it. If I sound a little strained during this video, don't mind me. I got to take a mean shit right now, but I'm holding it in because if I go use the bathroom, I'm going to break my rhythm. And I hate breaking my rhythm. First off, we're going to start with the honorable mentions, or in other words, the cripples. These guys, unfortunately, have been hurt for almost the entirety of the season so far, so I'm not exactly able to give them a fair grade. I don't know if they do this in schools around the world, but in college here, if you don't attend enough classes, the teacher just puts unofficial withdrawal on your transcript. These guys get an unofficial withdrawal. Christopher Nkunku came back a few weeks ago, and he actually scored once, but that's a tiny sample size. I can't really give him a grade. Arda Güler has touched the field for Real Madrid one single time, so he's going here too. I'm actually not sure if I said his name right, so I apologize to any Turkish people here if I mispronounced that horribly. My fault. Romeo Lavia has literally played one game, so he's an unofficial withdrawal too. Timber popped his ACL or something before the season even started, so yeah, he's here too. I think that's about it. All right, let's get into everybody else. Jude Bellingham is one of the summer's biggest and most expensive signings, and looking back, Dortmund is probably going to regret the fact that they didn't ask for more. Bellingham has borderline carried Madrid at some points in a season where they've been plagued with injuries. Sure, he hasn't actually been playing his natural position for most of the season, but Madrid don't have an actual striker, and he's been filling in pretty nicely in his sort of attacking midfielder-ish role. In La Liga, he has 13 goals. In all competitions, he has 17 goals and 5 assists for Madrid. Jude gets an A+. Moises Caicedo was one of the most expensive signings in the history of England last summer. How Brighton managed to finesse Chelsea like that, I will never know. They absolutely mugged him. He got off to an atrocious start and then spent his first 3 months or so being outrageously mid. Recently, he's been decent to good. He had a solid performance against Luton and another one against Sheffield United in the last month or so, but come on. Luton and Sheffield United, really? He is an ass. I mean, there's been worse, obviously, but for 133 million euros, yeah, hell nah. Absurdly overpaid. You can't get that much money and then only put up good performances against the relegation teams. Chelsea gets a D for this signing, and that's being generous only because he shows signs of improvement. A £115 million player shouldn't be taking half a season to get into somewhat of a rhythm. The other English signing that cost over $100 million in the summer was Declan Rice. The two of them couldn't have been more opposite so far this year, I'm not going to lie. How many times has Rice saved Arsenal so far this season? Against Chelsea, against United, against Luton. He dominated Manchester City back in October. For almost the entire season so far, he's been Arsenal's most consistent player. People have criticized his passing, and it's true that he doesn't break the lines like Xhaka or Partey, but he does lead Europe's top 5 league in progressive passes. I personally feel like his passing flaws are over-exaggerated. The last few games, there's been some question marks, but overall, there's no doubt how much of a leader and a force he's been this season. Arsenal gets an A for Rice. Harry Kane finally left Tottenham and joined Bayern for $100 million. Damn. Is that the wind? God damn. Anyways, Harry Kane finally left Tottenham and joined Bayern for $100 million. I don't think I need to talk much here. The guy has 21 goals in 15 games and is well on pace to obliterate Lewandowski's Bundesliga goal record. 33 goal contributions and 22 total games for Bayern is nuts. Easy A+. Speaking of the Bundesliga, Kolo Muani left it to join PSG, and to put it simply, they might as well have wasted that $95 million. He has 6 goal contributions in League One, but overall, he's been kinda ass, I won't lie. Everybody remembers that stinky performance against Dortmund in PSG's biggest game of the season. They played him at striker for most of the early part of the season, but even when they moved him to winger recently, he's still been struggling. I personally never thought he was a 95 million euro player, but he's not terrible. I think it's more about struggling to play in PSG system. He's been coming off the bench for a solid portion of this season, and I don't see that changing much with how he's been playing. Almost 100 million for the level of play he's been at this season is crazy. He has potential, but it wasn't good business at all. PSG get a D for Kolo Muani. Guardiola was widely considered to be the best under-21 center back in the world last season, and City got their hands on him last summer, but since then he's been kind of quiet. I feel like that's mainly because he's had to adjust to playing under Pep, though. He's been playing out of position at left back for a good amount of the season, but he hasn't been bad. He's especially good going forward, actually. Sure, he came in hyped as fuck, and he does have 90 million on his head, but he's not greatly underperforming. He's just not making any crazy amount of noise. He's shown flashes, though, and that's the main thing that matters with a 21-year-old. City gets a C+ for Guardiola. Guardiola came over from Germany, so why not head back over there for a second? Kim was one of Europe's best defenders last season, and Bayern got their hands on him for just 50 million euros. I don't know how. Maybe it's because he's 27 years old. Either way, Kim has been beyond sturdy for them. In a season where there's been a bunch of young center backs on the rise like Saliba and older center backs making a comeback like Van Dijk and Rudiger, I wouldn't be able to say he's the top 5 center back in the world again so far this year. He's done his job perfectly fine for Bayern so far though. Bayern gets a B plus just because in today's market, only 50 million for a world-class center back is a steal. One of the teams that was linked to Kim in the summer was United, but they were busy wasting money elsewhere. Rasmus Højlund cost them 75 million, and boy, do they wish they could take that shit back. One singular Prem goal in 15 games is crazy. He went 14 games without scoring? They was calling this guy the next Haaland when they signed him. It's not entirely his fault. He does play in one of the worst attacks in the league. I swear there's relegation teams with a less dysfunctional front three than United. Rashford has the decision-making of a child with brain damage, and Antony's generally just doo-doo. His attacking partners couldn't set him up with a good ball if the entire defense just lay down and let them put a free cross in. He did have 5 goals in the Champions League, so we know he's not horrific. He has it in him, but the Premier League goal record is just too horrendous for a striker that costs that much. United gets a D for Højlund, and it would be a F if not for the UCL goals. United also signed Mason Mount, which I'm not going to lie was always a stupid signing because he literally didn't address any of their needs. Been injured half the season. He's only played 8 league games. And in those 8 games, he showed a bunch of nothing besides in 2 of them. Waste of 65 million in my opinion. They get a D plus for that one. One of the other big Chelsea sales this summer was Kai Havertz to Arsenal, and at first it seemed like he was going to end up being a complete waste of 75 million euros. I still don't think he was worth close to that, but he did turn it around a couple months ago. Scored a couple of important goals like the one that took us to first place a little while back. He played well overall in some crucial games too. Unfortunately, the recent Liverpool game showed his limitations. Arteta gave him a try as striker and he stunk up the whole stadium. Swear to God, I could smell him through the screen. Never again, please. He's useful in the midfield. Let's keep him there. He's still not the biggest contributor, and his price tag is still crazy to me, but he's still doing something most of the time, and it became more consistent after the rocky start. I'm going to give Arsenal a C- for this one. Arteta somewhat figured out how to use him, and he's overcame his rough start, so there you go. I feel like we've been doing a bunch of Prem transfers mainly. To be fair, they do have almost all the most expensive and notable transfers. We're going to take a quick trip to some of the other leagues again, though, before we come back. Pulisic left Chelsea to join AC Milan, and you can generally argue that he's been their best player so far this year. Not shitting all that out or anything, but he's been really inconsistent so far. Pulisic has been fantastic on that right wing. 7 goals and 6 assists in all competitions for Milan, 11 contributions in the league. I read somewhere that he was their highest rated player this season too. I've only been able to catch a few Milan games here or there, but he looks like he's easily been worth the 22 million Milan spent on him. Milan gets an A for that. Milan wasn't just taking Prem players, though. They also sent one of their players over. Sandro Tonali joining Newcastle was a great piece of business. Well, at least for Milan, because they got 70 million and dodged that crazy-ass ban. Newcastle ain't even know they had the Italian Michael Jordan on their hands. I'm not talking about their skill on the court or the field either. I'm talking about their skill flipping that money like Krabby Patties. Tonali didn't get off to a bad start or anything, but none of that matters because he got himself banned for almost a year due to gambling. Automatically tanks his grade. Newcastle gets an F. Over in the Bundesliga, there was a shit ton of incredible business being done, mainly by the current league leaders Leverkusen. Victor Boniface, A+. They got this guy for 20 million and he's got more goal contributions than games played. Xhaka got him from Arsenal for 25 million and he's been one of the core parts of the team. Declan Rice does lead all of Europe in progressive passes, but that's only because English teams have played 4 more games than the Bundesliga, I think. Is it 3 or 4? I don't know. It's somewhere around there. German teams have been on break since December 20th too. Before the break, Xhaka had led all of Europe, and even now, he still sits in 3rd. He's 3rd in passes into the final 3rd as well. He also used to be 1st in that category before the break. In Xabi Alonso's system, he's arguably the most important player on the team. Another A+ signing. They got Hoffman for 10 million, and he's got 10 league goal contributions already playing next to Florian Wirtz. That's absolutely an A. Best of all, though, they got Alex Grimaldo for the freeski. They ain't paying out one dime, and he's got 16 goal contributions in less than 25 games from the midfield. Beyond an A+ signing. Their business this summer was outstanding. There's a reason they're still sitting in 1st all the way into the new year. I can't say Grimaldo has been one of the best left backs in the world this year because he doesn't even play left back anymore, even though that was his original position. But y'all know what I mean. He's one of the best at his position this year in the world. God damn, that wind is crazy. I don't even know if y'all could hear it, but it's crazy out there. That wind sounds like it's about to shatter my window. One of the guys Leverkusen had to let go to make those moves was Moussa Diaby, who they shipped off to Aston Villa for 60 million. I don't think he was super overpriced or anything. He was a good buy for Villa, and he's been contributing. C plus signing at worst, in my opinion. He could be as high as a B. Liverpool signed a few midfielders last summer. Dominic Sobos. You know what? Dominic has generally been good, has some consistency issues recently, but he's one of the better midfielders in the league so far this year. Got him for 70 million euros, and I wouldn't say he's underperformed his price tag or anything. Liverpool gets a B minus for his signing. Same goes for McAllister and his 42 million, which was actually a pretty good deal for a player as good as him. Maybe not as high as a B minus, but a C plus at worst, like Diaby. Endo gets a B plus just because Liverpool finessed him for under 20 million. He was a little quiet early on, but recently he strung together numerous great performances. One of the most underrated deals of the summer, in my opinion. James Ward-Prowse has been incredible for West Ham, and so has Mohamed Kudus. Both were less than £40 million, and both have been very important for West Ham so far this season. I mean, shit, we saw that when they beat our ass in our own crib. Ward-Prowse set pieces, of course. He has 3 goals and 6 assists this season. Kudus has 6 goals. That West Ham team is low-key tough, I'm not going to lie. Both of them get a B+. Chelsea snatched Cole Palmer from Manchester City, and it absolutely paid off. They coughed up just under 50 million, and in return, he's been their most consistent player all season. He just had a nasty brace a little while ago, and sure, half his goals are penalties, but his overall play was literally carrying Chelsea's attack at one point this season. Unfortunately, one of Chelsea's other signings isn't exactly turning out so well. Listen, I know he got 7 goals, but some of the chances he's missed are fucking outrageous. His best performance on paper is the hat-trick against Tottenham, and he spent most of that game struggling to put the ball in the net against 9 men in a high line that was posted up at the halfway line. He's good overall as a center forward, but his finishing smells often. He's lost Chelsea a few points this season. On the other hand, 7 goals is more than a lot of other strikers, including mine, so I'll give him that. I'll give Chelsea a C-. It's not like they spent 70 million on him or something. He was only 35 million, so whatever. Gundogan has been one of the bright spots in a season full of question marks for Barcelona, and they got him for free, which makes sense because even though he's still good, he's what, 33? Damn. I'll give that one a B+. Marcus Thuram has been vital to Inter all year so far, and they got him for free. He started every league game this season. He got 13 goal contributions in Serie A. Inter gets an A for this. Onana? Oh, nah. Okay, the thing with him is he's not consistently ass. He's just occasionally ass often. Feel me? United probably make the knockouts of the Champions League if he doesn't fuck up so many times in the group stage. Let's be real. He messed up too many times early on, and now there's a narrative attached to his name that is going to take a very long time to get rid of. He's really not that bad, but he's not reliable enough to be considered good either, and his mistakes have been huge. I feel like this might be a little harsh because I just said he's not that bad, but D+. James Maddison was leading Tottenham to the top of the league before his injury. I have no idea when he's going to be back, but it was going well, and they only got him for £40 million. A lot of people were calling it the best Prem deal of the summer before the injury. The signing is still getting an A for me, even though he's missed a bunch of time. Jeremy Doku got snatched up by City. He's an interesting one because he doesn't really fit super well in the Pep system, and Pep has admitted that he's had to give Doku more freedom than he'd usually give a winger just to let him spread his wings. He had that crazy game against Bournemouth where he had like 4 assists. Outside of that, he's been pretty good. I still think Grealish is the better winger for Pep. Doku started more than him this season. It's kind of surprising to me, but I guess Pep's won so much that he's willing to be less strict. The Doku signing gets a calm B- for me. Loan players, I ain't forget about y'all. Just because you're borrowed doesn't make you any less of a signing. You matter too. I promise. All right, let's get into it. David Raya, he's had his shaky moments. He looked like he was going to piss himself early against Manchester City, and I don't even want to talk about the Luton game. I feel like because he isn't making the highlight reel saves like Ramsdale, people aren't appreciating the other things he's doing for the team distribution-wise, though. The shaky moments have come and gone. He's been fine. I'll give him a C+ at worst. Cancelo rolled up to Spain, and he's been huge for Barcelona. I ain't forget about that Porto game. Like I said a couple videos ago, one of the best performances from a Barca player since Messi left. Barca gets a B+ for that move and a C+ for the Felix one. Xavi Simons has been the best attacking midfielder in the Bundesliga other than Florian Wirtz and Jamal Musiala. Leipzig gets an A for that loan move. I think that's like somewhere around it. Obviously, there are other smaller names that made moves, but I think I've gone through most of the major ones. Let me know what you think the best signing of the summer was in the comments. I'm interested because there's more than a few good candidates. I'm going to see y'all next time.